We all know that copyright is an IP right, and IP rights are just like other property rights. So just as with tangible property where it is possible to transfer your rights to somebody else, the same can be done with respect to intellectual property rights. And in this particular lecture, we're going to be discussing the possibility of either licensing your copyright or assigning it to somebody else. Okay, so the first point to note is that a license is not the same thing as an assignment. As far as an assignment is concerned, it means that the copyright owner is giving away, basically they're just selling the rights to somebody else who is then going to become the new owner of the rights. And by the way, since copyrights can be assigned, so assigning means that the current copyright owner may not always necessarily be the initial author of that work, because he or she may simply have obtained rights in that particular piece of work through an assignment. Okay, and licensing is obviously not the same thing as assigning rights. So let's say if a copyright owner decides to agree to let someone else use their work under certain conditions for a specific period of time, then this simply means that the copyright owner has granted a license to somebody else to use their work. Now, with regard to Pakistan, one important point to remember is that although you can definitely license or assign your copyright in your work to somebody else, but you have to ensure that the license or assignment is reduced into writing, because in order for a license or assignment to be valid, in the eyes of the law, you have to make sure that there is a written agreement that supports the arrangement that you have made, that is whatever it is, whether it's a license or an assignment. So in short, an oral license or an oral assignment is not going to be valid. And in this particular aspect, the law differs from country to country, so you will have to look up the specific laws in your country. But yes, generally it is possible to transfer your rights, and in fact this is very common. For example, book authors and music composers often license or assign their rights to publishers in exchange for payments which are known as royalties. So in short, to conclude this lecture, a copyright can definitely be transferred to another party either through an assignment or through a license. And an assignment is not the same as a license, because an assignment means that you're selling or giving away your copyright to another person, which means that this is going to result in a loss of the copyright control that you yourself originally had. On the other hand, if you instead grant merely a copyright license to someone else, then you are still going to continue to be the owner of the copyright, and the person to whom the license is granted, that is the licensee, may only exercise some of the owner's rights.